What up, 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 what up? Let's make sure we got lift off, y'all. Testing, testing, testing. I sound all right to y'all over there. All right, cool. Just want to make sure we good on all platforms. We up on 6 different platforms right now. Shout out to everybody on the live. I appreciate y'all tapping in. We're trying to make this happen one day at a time. What's up, family? If this your first time on my live and you've never been on my live before, put a 1 in the chat. We're gonna get started early. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long on this beautiful Sunday. Um, if you are new to my live and you don't know who I am, look, I go by Zabo 103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms and I really just try to provoke some thought. I believe that if you think, if you research and you take some action, you absolutely, without a doubt, can win. The choice is absolutely yours. For my day one people that's been rocking with me live, at least for the last 137 weeks straight, I appreciate y'all for always tapping in. We're gonna go up as usual like we normally do because it just seemed like the right thing to do. So look, y'all, on this beautiful Sunday, I will tell you that it's been a fun-filled weekend. It's been a fun-filled week. This last week was interesting, man. Everything was just popping off, popping off, popping off. And got some exciting things coming down the works when it comes to Zabo 103 TV. And for the people that's already over there, we already doing a whole bunch of different things as we speak. We got a bunch of other things that's going to come down the pipe. And what I want people to know, for the people that aren't over there already, that platform was created for people like me. And that's the easiest way for me to say it, y'all. It really was created for people like me. People that aren't trying to work a job, people that was super adamant about becoming financially free, um, and having a whole network to show people different things and different steps to take in order to make that happen. These are all things that I wish I would have had some form of access to when I very first started taking these steps 9 years ago. Would it have made my journey easy? Absolutely would have made my journey a whole lot easier. So I created Zabo 103 TV to show people that there is a different way, and it's a better way than what you think. Because the reality of it is, what you're doing right now obviously has gotten you to the place where it's gotten you to, and it might not be that wrong with that, but something inside of you says that you want more, and that's how I felt. When I was in that rat race up there at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, you couldn't tell me that this how my life was supposed to end. Me working uphill forever, without a exit strategy, without an end in sight. It was a really good job for a job. Don't get me wrong, but knowing what I know, it's like, man, it was the ultimate trap. And most people jobs are that way. They pay you enough so you gotta come back. And that sucks because you only going to work to pay bills. And you only paying bills to go to work. So it's like you can't get out of the off of the hamster wheel because you're chasing the same thing. You're chasing money to pay bills. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, Without a pension, well, I had a pension, but a pension is like, imagine you worked on a job for 20 years, right? And pensions ain't gonna be there, which they not really there anyway, right? They're non-existent. So you worked on a job for 20 years, right? And they give you your pension. How much do you think it really is? I want people to put it in the chat. How much do you think a pension is? How much do you think a pension is once you retire? How much do you think they're going to give you every single month for your pension? Think about that. And when do you actually get your pension? Y'all, it's pennies. And when I say pennies, it's pennies. Like, you'll be surprised just how much these things that people say they want to depend on, it really is. And you start to look at it, ain't worth it. I'm going to give you an example. You think about how many people on, they get a retirement check because they didn't retire. They over the age of 65, right? You think a pension is $7,000 per month? Absolutely not. Where they do that at? And we got people that have, worked the full 30, 40 years and they got their pension. They're going to tell you they ain't getting nowhere near $7,000 a month. Not even close. It's almost scary to even say it out loud. It almost seems scary out loud when you say it. It's like when people be stuck on Section 8 and they don't decide to go get a job because they don't want to lose their Section 8. And the job that they can go out and get is going to give them more than what Section 8 is giving them. Like some people who don't want to lose their disability. Man, my disability check $900 a month. What are we talking about, y'all? What type of life are you talking about living? This is not reality, y'all. This is why when most people retire, this is why they go back to work. This is the reason why they go back to work. You know how many people come out of retirement and they have pensions, they have 401ks, they have retirement checks, they have this, they have all these different things. And with all that being said and done, if they get in $2,000-$3,000 a month, that's probably a stretch. It's not reality, y'all. And unfortunately, these are the dreams that you are sold, thinking that this pot of gold is going to be at the end of that rainbow. And it's not. Yeah, that's not a reality, family. Not even close. Not even close. And that's the part that's really scary. It is absolutely scary because it's the false sense of reality that they set for you to believe. And when you get to the end, it's not that at all. And I tell you, just like I'll tell anybody else, try to see what happens. You think all these people in the United States of America that didn't work for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, making 6 figures a year, you think they going back to work because they want to? You think they're just bored at the crib? It's not a reality. It just ain't. And that's the part that sucks. Do the math real quick. I want you to do the math real quick, right? $100,000 a year, right? At $100,000 a year, you know you're going to get a fraction of your salary, right? You're not getting the full salary, right? Every single year. So if you make $100,000 a year, and let's just say for the sake of argument, you're going to get a fraction of that $100,000 for your pension. If you divide that $100,000 divided by 12, you're going to be somewhere around about $8,300 some dollars a month. And that's going to be before taxes. If I'm being honest, realistically, it's going to be somewhere around about $6,000 a month that you're going to wind up making. So you think if you're working somewhere for 10, 15, 20 years, and you only bring it home $6,000 a month, you think when you get a pension, you're going to bring home more money than your salary was? Not a reality. It doesn't exist. The math don't math. I get what the dream is that's being sold, but that's not reality. You can't save more than you make. You only can save a fraction of what you make. They're only going to put away a fraction of whatever you make. This is the reason why when people retire, they only get a fraction and they realize they can't afford to live off of these different things they're getting because the cost of living doesn't go down with it. The cost of living goes up. And when you retire, your income goes down. That's reality. But, you know, some people say pickle tastes better than cucumber. All I know is it couldn't be me. I've seen too many people that I care about and love the most have to go back to work after they didn't retire. My dad, who I have shown a different way, 73 years old, will not retire for that reason. And he's been working now probably maybe like what, 50 years, 40, 50 years? Who knows how long that joker been working? But the point that I'm making is he won't retire for that reason. And he has explored the option of retiring and what they're going to give him. Like, man, that's pennies. I ain't trying to do that. He retired and came back out of retirement. Think. Your loved ones have done the same thing. You got loved ones that you're helping out every single month, and they're getting a retirement. They're getting a pension right now today. If that's a real thing by the time you retire, I don't know. But they're getting these things that you're thinking that they're going to get right now today, and you're still having to help them out every single month. They're not asking you for help just to be asking. They asking because they ain't got it. Think. And that's the part that becomes scary. That's the part that when reality really starts to sink in, you're like, whoa, I done played myself. I fell into the trap. And it sucks, y'all. It sucks like crazy. And this stuff, don't get it twisted, y'all. The word pension is non-existent right now today. If you look at how many people that have a job, let's do a poll. We are on 6 different platforms. If you have a job right now and you went in and tried to access what you're going to get for pension, take a look at how much you're going to get every single month. And once it gets over, I think $20,000 is what it was back then. Once it gets over $20,000, you can't take no lump sum. You're only taking what? I don't even think it's 20,000. I think it's like 16, maybe like 16,000. Once you get over $16,000, you're taking a monthly installment of that money. People be looking at that stuff like, what? $150 a month? And I gotta wait till we get to just because it's over a certain amount. Oh yeah, it's not real. All this stuff is an illusion to keep you trapped. This is the reason, one of the major reasons why people refuse to get out of their rat race. Because they're like, man, at least when I retire, I can get this. I had access to my 401k at this point. You got people running around right here today that don't know when they start taking money out their 401k, even when they retire, they don't know that their 401k still going to be taxed. And it's going to be taxed at a higher rate if we still have taxes. Let that one bake your noodle. That's a wild situation. They don't know that 401k is a tax deferment plan. Think. Think about what I'm saying. People don't see these things because we have been conditioned to believe all this garbage. We've been conditioned to believe all this garbage. You're talking about what you're penalized. Whatever the taxes are at that point, when you decide 59 and a half and older, that's what you'll be taxed at. And it's going to depend on how much money you're taking out. So let me give you an example. Let's say you did all the right things and you got this whopping $1 million in your 401k, right? If you start taking out that money before you retire, you're not just going to be taxed, you're going to be penalized. But if you wait till after you 59 and a half, let's say the year you take it out, when you're 60, right? Let's say the taxes have went up to from 39% if you make over $628,000 in a year. Let's say that it went up to 45% if you make over $628,000 in a year. If you go and take out that $1 million, you're going to be taxed $450,000 on your $1 million, leaving you with $550,000. Almost half of your money is going to be gone. That's just the federal side alone. If you're in a state where you have a state tax, whatever that state tax is at that time, you're going to get taxed with that too. But people don't realize these things. And it's an amazing marketing plan that these big corporations have to make you feel like you're saving up your nest egg for a rainy day, for retirement, for all these different things. And the reality of it is, as long as you are an employee, you're never going to be able to retire. Not comfortably anyway. Imagine you believing that you taking it out as slow is going to make it better. Maybe. Still getting taxed. Think about what I just said. Taxes are only going up as long as we have them. The best thing that you probably have going is Donald Trump swing through and make us have no federal taxes at all. That's probably the best case scenario. Who knows if that's going to transpire or not? If it doesn't, taxes are going up. And that's a scary thought across the board. But as an employee, you don't have no control over that because you earn an income. And the people and the businesses that pay taxes are people and businesses that have earned an income. So if you have an income, you're going to have an income tax. And you're going to get hit with the highest rate. That business owner ain't never going to see the taxes that you see because they understand something different. They understand the value of working for their last name and not their first. They pay you for your time so they can get their time back. They let you earn the high salaries and get all the perks that you want to get. Why? Because these are business expenses for the business. It's allowing them to get work out of other people while not having to pay taxes on that work. When I was at Bank of America making a couple $100,000 a year, please believe me, boys and girls, that was an amazing business expense for the bank because I was generating $720 million a year. The trade-off was amazing. So that couple $100,000 was a drop in the bucket. And then all the other things they get to do from an expense standpoint to get that $720 million down. And then when it was time for them to get taxed, since it was a corporation, they were only taxed at 21%. Hundreds of millions of dollars only taxed at 21%. But here it is, if you earn an income as an employee, or a business that's not a corporation, you're getting taxed right now if you make over $628,000 in a year at 39% on the Fed side, 18 more percent than a $100 million company a year. And this is why it's mind blowing. This is why it's crazy. And it doesn't mean go tax them more, because if you tax them more, that means you're probably going to end up with no job. They taking the money to pay you. So every time you turn around and somebody's saying, hey, man, you need to start taxing the wealthy people more money and the big corporations all the money. If they get hit with more money, they got less money to go out to you. If these big corporations don't have the funding to pay employees, guess who's losing their job first? You. They're not going out of business. The biggest expense on any job is the employee. So what do you think is going to happen? Job layoff. You see how they got you in a chokehold? You might well not stop being Jody. Don't be Jody in this situation. Be Melvin. Put your arm on their neck. It's time for you to be Melvin, not Jody. You can't be in there squirming in the chair, calling for your mama while big old Melvin got his arm on your neck. If Melvin get removed from the situation, from little bit old Jody, Jody cannot help mama pay the mortgage. Melvin is in the house paying the actual mortgage that Jody want to act like he running somewhere. It sounds like employees, the way they act towards these big corporations. It's almost a wild concept to even think about. But that's why I created Szabo 103 TV. That's why I created that platform. So I can pull the veil so you can see it and stop making excuses. I know you're tired. I know you don't know the right people. I know you ain't got all this money that you need to have in order to create all these different things. So I pull the veil off and behind it. I pull the curtain behind it. I pull the curtain all the way back. So you can see you don't need to know all these people you think you need to know. You don't need all this money that you think you need. It's not a real thing anyway. That's the reason why I create this platform, to start getting you to see all the BS that you were told, and you can see the truth. And once you see the truth, you can't unsee this stuff, y'all. You can't unsee it. And yes, you deserve to see this stuff, but your family deserves to see you. Your people that you claim you care about and love the most, they need to see you every single day. They deserve that. You run around when you at home acting like you the man or you the woman, but when you get in front of your boss, you're not the man and you're not the woman no more. It's almost a scary thought. Imagine you being a superhero in front of your kids, and when you get in front of your boss, you gotta hunker down because the real superhero then walked in the room. You're trying to shush your kids to make sure they don't embarrass you in front of Paw. The math ain't mathing, y'all. The math don't math at all. You gotta break away from that chain. You deserve it. Your bloodline deserves that stuff. And I'm speaking from a place of being in your shoes. I'm speaking of a place of not being that far removed from it. I'm speaking of a place of how I knew I was just so sick and tired of being sick and tired of having to tap dance for all these different people. This stuff was crazy, y'all. That's why I created the Szabo 103 TV platform. That's the reason why I created this stuff. Because I know people are tired. You got people right now supposed to be relaxing on a beautiful Sunday, but they at the house stressing because they know they got to do a presentation tomorrow in a meeting and they want to make sure it go right. They want to show not just their employees that they're going to have the right presentation in front of them. They boss is actually going to be at the presentation tomorrow, and they want to make sure they don't say the wrong thing in front of their boss. They want to make a good impression. Think y'all. You all nervous to get up in the morning to go to work. You got your stuff laid out. You've been practicing. You can't even relax on your Sunday because you're too busy worried about the meeting presentation. And your little segment of that meeting presentation ain't even 15 minutes long. You got a quick little 7-8 second slot and you freaking out. Your whole Sunday is shot because you want to make the best impression to somebody at work around what you do at your job. You've been doing it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20, 30 years. Math ain't mathing, y'all. The math ain't mathing. Think about this. You were told to go work hard, earn your living, and you can have all the things that you want. Well, you've worked hard. I don't think there's, regardless of where you at in your career, you have worked hard. Hell, you've been working hard now for the last 95% of the years that you've been at your job. You've been working hard. When are you going to get to the place where you can have everything that you want? Not just what you need, but what you want. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know nobody on my live platform between these 6 platforms that will say, man, I've been going to my job. I ain't been working hard ever. I call cap. And the more work you do on your job, it ain't like they give you more money when you do more work. You're going to get that fraction of your money every year in a performance review. A fraction. And it's almost scary to even think about that. Here you are, you done went and put up some impressive numbers for the month. You didn't increase your performance by 2,000%, and you got that same paycheck. Didn't change. The only time you get more money if on your job for doing more work, and that's only if you're hourly and they offering you overtime. It's almost crazy to even think about it. Then your job got the audacity to start collapsing roles, and your boss ain't your boss no more because they collapsed the role. They killed that whole level. And now they added 2 more job responsibilities onto your job and told you that they're going to reevaluate what that workload is. And then next year, they're going to normalize the pay. So you got to work a whole year in this new role doing 2 or 3 more jobs before they even give you any form of a pay. And most likely by the time they get there, you or one of your peers going to got laid off so they can normalize the pay for you. You still doing 4 people jobs. Think. This stuff is wow when you start to really just sit back and start processing this. And again, you deserve better. But ain't nobody gonna give you better. You gotta give yourself better. What's in your head, you gotta pull it out so you can make it a reality. One of the things that I got really good at, I got good at thinking about how I want something to go in my head and then put it into action. I got really good at it. And I show people how they can get really good at it. This is the reason why when I get on these platforms and we start going over scenarios, it don't really matter what the scenario is. You tell me any business idea that you got going on or anything that you got going on from your business perspective, I can 100%, without a doubt, think about it for a few seconds and tell you how to make it better in seconds. Because it's all the same process. That's what's crazy about it. But your level of thinking, I can't stress this enough. It has to shift. And it's not cliche, people, when you hear people say that, it's the absolute truth. Because when your perspective change, your outcomes will change. As long as your perspectives are the same, your outcome will be the same. Think. And this is crazy. And that's what makes it all like it makes it wow. It makes it wow, y'all. It makes it almost, man, it's crazy when I sit back and think about this, y'all. I get chills sometimes even talking about this stuff because I know what taking the steps, I know what the results are from it. I know what the outcome is going to be. And it's easy to sit back and quarterback this thing after you done did these things, but it's so much better when you can sit back and quarterback it because I know the feeling. I understand it. I get it. We're in April. Second quarter, boys and girls. This is the time frame when companies start making those conversations happen about who they're gonna lay off. This is the time when those conversations start to happen, y'all. And again, in my role at the bank, I was the person having to deliver those messages. I was the person that was in on those conversations about who were going to get laid off. It was absolutely wild. When I very first had my very first meeting with my peer group and my boss when I was at the bank, and we started having those conversations about who we were actually laying off, it was a wild concept, just what all went into it. Because I used to think if you the bottom performer, you gone. It don't matter what the situation is. If you the bottom performer, you out. And that wasn't always the truth, y'all. They were looking at a couple of things, which was kind of crazy. If you were the person that in our role in one of those positions, and you already see the cap of the salary in that role, you were on that list. Now your performance could outweigh it depending on the situation, but most people that had then hit their cap, they weren't getting no more raises. And if they weren't getting no more raises, they were just doing bare minimum, hitting the standard to keep the role without getting performance managed out. Those people were getting hit in the head left and right. So the first time I went through that conversation and I realized it wasn't just about the people that was the bottom performing people, I started having conversation with my direct reports so they can have a conversation with their direct reports and they can have a conversation with their direct reports around, look, these people that are at the ceiling when it comes to the salary, they need to find another role. Go find another role in the company because that conversation is going to go something like this. We're going to give you we got to lay you off. And if you got any questions, you can reach out to HR. It's on the numbers on the back of the paper that I just gave you. And you are going to have 60 days to find you another role. So you'll still, even though we're laying you off right now, you're going to have 60 days from today to find you another role within the company. After that, you're going to be applying as an external employee, but you will be rehireable. So I used to tell them, you need to get them to go find them a job ASAP. Another role that they're not at the ceiling for what they make, because they're at the ceiling, they at the top of my list. Because they not fitting into this budget. They not fitting into this budget at all, and their performance is lackluster. I'm telling you, y'all, these are conversations that happens at your job. I know for a fact. 100%. You got to stop being Jody. You need to start being Melvin. You're going to have to put your arm on somebody's neck. And I know it ain't pretty And it might not be in your spirit to be that way, but the reality of it is, if you ain't Melvin in this situation, you Jody. If you ain't Melvin in this situation, you are Jody. Jody, baby, call your mama. I'm just telling you. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Because you're an employee in this business called the United States of America. That's just what it is, y'all. You are an employee of this business called the United States of America. And that's really all it is to it. You got to start wrapping your brain around this stuff, because life doesn't really change at all. Life never really changed at all. The only thing changes is your perspective. The things that you upset about today, you can be happy about in a blink of an eye. You can start looking for the positive things and be happy about those things, and it change your whole outlook on what you got going on. As much as you saying you hate your job right now, you need your job to take care of what you need to take care of. So guess what you need to do? You need to get excited about your job just long enough until you get up out of there. Everything that makes you mad, let that give you all the energy that you need in order to push you to doing the things that you need to do. It just is what it is. If you're not already on Zabo103TV.com, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. There are so many people over there on the move. They're moving 100 miles per hour. And they're on the move. It's almost scary when I think about it. I used to believe, when I used to be going live all the time, and I would have people on here and I'll be sharing stuff, and people would be like, Zabo, man, what you're doing is amazing. This is great. And I'm doing this, and I'm like, yeah, people just say anything. They just be talking. I ain't believe none of that stuff, y'all. But looking at the way people communicate on my network, it's almost scary how many people actually taking action. And it's all simply because it's not just a network, y'all. It's a movement. And it's a powerful platform. It is so powerful. It blows my mind to even think about some of this stuff, y'all. I see people over there, man, my business is doing 7 figures a year. That's amazing, family. Think about that. Think about that for a second. I see people over there like, man, I just bought me 50 acres. Man, I got my business off the ground, family. I see people saying all type of things, and it's like, what? I don't think people understand how it makes me feel. If y'all ain't figured it out, I've slowed down coming on social media lives a lot just in this last week, because I just been like, I got to put more time in my network. I got to put more stuff over here. These people are ready for this. Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. Hey, I got to do this. My wife's like, baby, you ain't going live today? I'm like, nah, man, ain't doing it. Go over to Zabo103TV.com and subscribe over there. You can go to my profile page. It's the only website in my profile. Click on it, subscribe. Subscribe means signed up. Once you sign up for it, you will have a subscription. It's like Netflix. It's a whole bunch of pre-recorded shows over there that air every week. Multiple shows that air every week. And I go live over there. And I'm working out something right now to where the notification for my lives are more accurate. So when I go live, y'all get the notification instantly, and I'm gonna start going live more over there. Right now, my lives are on a schedule. And the app is coming soon, y'all. For the people that's on the network, the app is coming soon. The app is coming soon. Uh-oh. A lot of people don't hear me when I say these things. Imagine this was 48 days ago when I said on social media, hey man, this social media platform, they don't let me talk about these things. I get kicked off. They shadow ban, do all this different stuff to my platform where I can't speak about these things. I'm gonna start my own network. That was 47 days ago. It's been up for 27 days. Think about what I'm saying. And now I'm coming back to y'all saying the app is coming. This stuff 49 days ago wasn't even a thought. This stuff 49 days ago wasn't even a thought. Think about what I'm saying. 49 days ago, I ain't know nothing about having my own network. I still don't know a whole lot. I know enough to keep it going. And I'm going to continue learning, continue improving it. But 49 days ago, I don't know nothing about no doing how to start no network myself, my own platform. That should tell you something. Nothing's off the table, y'all. Nothing's off the table, y'all. You didn't get the message 49 days ago? I don't know. Only way you could have got a message, you'd have been on my net. You'd have been on these social media platforms watching me live. Think. Do you know how wild that is? I don't know how you missed it then, family, but it's there. It's up. It's up and running. And maybe you're not understanding what I'm saying. So let me explain a little bit further. Zabo103tv.com is not on YouTube. It's not on Instagram. It's not on TikTok. It's not on Twitch. It's not on Rumble. It's not on Riff. It's not on it's not on another platform. It's my own network that I had created. It's my own network that I had created. It's not a social media platform, y'all. Think about what I just said. And that's what makes this stuff crazy. That's what makes it wow. When I look at these different things and I say to myself, if an ignorant dude like me from ATL, born in the ATL, raised in Decatur, barely made it out of Decatur, barely made it out of Southside High School, never went to college. If a dude like me can figure this stuff out, I know y'all smart folks can do it. I 100% without a doubt know you smart people can do it. So what I do when I get on these live, because I'm not going to hold up your whole Sunday. I am, family. What I'm not going to hold up your Sunday too much. I'm going to show you how simple it is for you to do all these different things that you hear me talking about right now for free. That's how much confidence I have in what I do. Watch this. If you're new to my live and it's your first time really being on my live, you might know who I am, but you've never really sat through my lives before to understand exactly what I do. You just hear me talking about different stuff. You're like, it sounds great, but what the hell is he talking about? But if this is your first time on my live, sitting through it for real, put a 1 in the chat. I'll show you. All my day one people, y'all can put a 2 in the chat. I don't want y'all to feel left out. Y'all ain't never left out. We're going to keep rocking. We got some new people on here. Okay. So that's fair. Let me show you. Let me show you. 2, 3. I know this right there. Let me show you. I'm going to do a little bit of a twist. Watch this. If you're on this live right now, whether you've been here or you haven't been here, and what's up, family? And let's say, do like this. Drop what state y'all live in. Put it in the chat. I'm in Georgia. All right. Everybody drop what state they represent from today. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to make it simple too. West Virginia, California, Florida, Georgia in the house, NYC, Indiana in the building, Georgia, New York, PA, North Kakalaki, Maryland in the building, Philadelphia in the building, Hawaii in the building. Shout out to Hawaii. That's what's up, family. Texas, Ohio, Georgia in the building. What's up, family? Georgia in the building. ATL, Missouri, Arkansas. People all over the place, right? All right, watch this. Everybody that put a state in the chat, are you all at least over the age of 21? Put a yes in the chat if you're over the age of 21. Put a no in the chat if you're under the age of 21. I want y'all to watch this. I want y'all to stay with me. Okay, a lot of people. Okay, all right. Everybody over the age of 21 in whatever state you in. And you've been in that state probably for some time. And some people probably migrated to different places. Yada, yada, yada. I want y'all to think about something. Watch this. Watch this. If you've been riding, whether you've been driving yourself, catching public transportation, people Ubering you around, whatever it is, if you've been riding past a place in a state that you live in, and you've been riding past this place for years, right? Not just 1 or 2 years. I mean, pretty much your whole life you done rode past this place. And for all the time that you've known yourself riding past this place, have you ever seen a place where you just been riding past and it ain't been nothing but woods? Or it might not be woods, it might just be cows over there. But it ain't no type of, no single family homes over there, no neighborhoods, no commercial buildings, none of that. It's just woods or it's just cows. Have y'all seen that before? I know here in Georgia, I see it a lot. And I'm thinking like maybe because we're in the South, people have a bunch of land that just be sitting there, right? And they don't be doing nothing with the land. Y'all done seen that too? Not in ages where you live at? Man. I know here in Georgia, I see it all the time, man. You be riding past places, ain't nothing but trees. And the first thing you say is, I'm going to make it all familiar for the people that say they ain't seen it. The first thing you say is, man, we in the country. Man, we in the country. Man, we in the country, man. Not like in Baltimore and then like that. But if you go into like the outskirts of Maryland, I'm certain you can see that. If you close to that DMV area, I know they got a ton of that in Virginia. 100%. And that stuff been there forever. Let's bring it a little bit close to home for you. Have you seen a piece of land in the city that just been sitting there for a long period of time? And then finally, somebody builds something on it. Maybe they build a subdivision right there. Maybe they build a gas station. Maybe they build a shopping center. Y'all have seen that before? Maybe I'm tripping. I see it all the time here in Georgia. You see it a lot in Texas. I know it's the wildest thing that you can ever think of. It's almost scary when you think about it. And I know what feeling I used to get. It ain't the same feeling no more. But the feeling I used to get would be, man, them people finally decide to do something with their property, or they sold the property to somebody and they doing something with their land now. Seems like subdivision pops up everywhere now. Everybody building. It ain't a place on this map called the United States of America where nobody ain't building. But I used to think that they sold the property or they finally decided to do something with it. Now I know better, and I know that ain't what happened. They ain't sell the property. They didn't decide to do nothing with it. Well, they did, but in a different way. RIP to the person that passed away. RIP to the person that passed away. Every time I see somebody that got a whole bunch of land or a little piece of land and they decide to build something in it, I always throw up my little prayer hands and say RIP to the person that passed away, because that's what happened. It's almost scary to say it that way, but it's just the truth. Let me explain. I have a $10 million whole life insurance policy on myself. My wife got $10 million on her. My kids got multi-million-dollar policies. My grandson got a multi-million-dollar policy. I'm going to keep going, y'all. If I leave this planet right now on this live, my wife ain't getting $10 million. My kids ain't getting $10 million. My grandson ain't getting $10 million. The beneficiary of that $10 million policy is a trust. Think about what I just said. So being that the beneficiary is the trust, what instruction do you think I'm going to give the trust? As a person that owns 347.5 acres of land, what do you think is going to happen? A fraction of that land is going to be pulled out. That $10 million inside of that trust, remember the trust don't need no money. Watch this. A fraction of that money, say $5 million, we're going to put it to the side for a second, okay? The other $5 million, guess what's happening with that money? You know, build some single-family homes, maybe on a portion of the land that we own. Maybe, make some hunting land, do some solar panel farms, build a small hangar, maybe do some more pecan trees, some timber trees, maybe do some quail hunting sites, maybe do some solar panel farms, do anything. For the sake of this conversation, we're going to call it an apartment complex because that's what most people wrap their brain around. So that land that y'all been seeing down in Georgia, they've been sitting there for years and years and years, they finally decided to do something with it. That ain't what happened. I passed away. So the instruction is going to be that the trust is going to take $5 million of that $10 million and go build a small apartment complex. The property manager that's going to be in place, which is a family member and their company. The property manager that's in play for this whole thing is going to make sure that the tenants are in the actual units. 95% is covered. Pay $5 million cash, probably build out, something small, nothing major. Probably like, call it 50 doors. That's about $100,000 a door. Yeah, 50 doors. Something small. Okay. So when the tenants get in there, what are they doing? They're going to pay the rent. The property manager is going to make sure the upkeep on the property is getting paid. They're going to have their cut, but the money from that actual apartment complex is coming back to the trust. The trust ain't going to be taxed on that money out the gate. Why? They have to get what's called a return on your capital first. The $5 million that they gave to build that property, until they get that $5 million back, it ain't taxed. Watch this. When that $5 million is coming back, remember, there's another $5 million sitting over there. What are we doing with that $5 million? The wife don't need no money. She got policies. She got businesses. She got trusts. She got land. She got the same thing I had. The kids don't need no money. They got policies. They got businesses. They got trusts. They got land. They got the same things I had. The grandkids don't, the grandson don't need nothing. He got the same stuff I got. Right? So that other 5 million that's sitting over there, what is that gonna do? You guessed it, buy more land for my great grandkids who ain't never gonna meet. The other $5 million coming in, what's gonna happen with that money? As soon as the first, well, not the first at this point, I'm already grandpa. As soon as the next grandpa's grandbaby is born, the biggest whole life insurance policy that the trust can afford is going on that grandbaby. And the trust is going to be paying it every single month, like clockwork. Now, a multi-million-dollar policy on that grandbaby ain't going to cost that whole $5 million. That's pennies, y'all. They're just a fraction of it, right? So what's happened with the rest of the money? Because the trust don't need no money, y'all. What's happening with the rest of that money? The grandbaby becomes a trust fund baby, and they get a stipend every single year. Okay. So out of that $5 million, all that money coming back from that apartment complex, the grandbaby is getting a stipend every single year, like clockwork. Every single year, like clockwork. It's just coming. But wait, what is that baby gonna do with all this money? You just said your kids, which is the baby parents, don't need no money. You just said their grandmother, who's my wife, she don't need no money. They got land, they got trust, they got business, they got life insurance policies. They got the same thing I had. What these grandbabies that can't use no money, whole life, not term, what they gonna use this money for? To buy more land? For my great grandkids who ain't never gonna meet. What's gonna happen when my wife leave this planet? The same thing. What's gonna happen when my kids start to leave this planet? The same thing. What's gonna happen when my grandbabies start to leave this planet? The same thing. What's gonna happen when my great grandkids start to leave this planet? The same thing. You get it? And that's what's crazy about this stuff, y'all. Most people can't even begin to wrap their brain around this stuff because they're stuck in employee mode. And these things that are right there in your face, it's so unreal. That's why I created Szabo103tv.com, y'all. It's not just a platform. That platform will change your life. I know it will, because it changed mine forever. There are people on my live that used to work at the bank with me. And I'm looking right now, I'm like, whoof. I know what I used to be like at the bank. Total different mindset today. Why? Because I know better. Why? Because my kids deserve better. Why? Because my grandkids deserve better. Why? Because I'm becoming immortal for my bloodline. I'm the one that made the sacrifice. You got to be the one to make the sacrifice in your bloodline. Your bloodline deserves this stuff. Or you can keep making excuses. You can keep saying you need all this money to make this stuff happen. And I'm here to tell you, you don't lack money. You just lack information and taking action with the information that you get. It's just a fact. It's a 100% without a doubt fact. So what I'm going to do as usual, right? We're going to go through scenarios, and we're just going to keep going through different scenarios until it clicks for you on how you can do all this stuff that I'm talking about from exactly where you at. I don't care if your credit bad. I don't care if you ain't got no money saved. I don't care if you ain't been networking with nobody. I don't care I don't care what your situation is. We've talked about how you can do this from making 100 grand a year on your job. We've talked about how you can do this if you're making 50 grand a year on your job. We've talked about how you can do this making 30 grand a year on your job. We've talked about doing this from making $8,000 a year on your job. We've talked about doing this if you made $1,500 a year. We've talked about doing this if you're on Section 8, unemployed, just got out of prison. We've talked about how you do this even if you homeless. You ain't got no excuse. Say, well, how are you able to explain all this stuff from all these different scenarios? I've been in all those places, yo. I ain't been just getting out of prison. I ain't did no time in there. I ain't just getting out of prison. I ain't gonna tell you that lie. I ain't did any. Most time I done did in any type of jail is 10 days. I did 10 days for some punk speeding tickets. Some traffic violations. And it went 100% my fault. I ain't gonna tell you who fault it was because I don't want to snitch on them. But somebody used my freaking license. My license was suspended, and being that I was up under the age of 18, no, I was up under the age of 21 when they got suspended. In the state of Georgia, they revoked my license. So when I got pulled over, they told me my license were revoked. So you know what they did in the state of Georgia? They locked me up. I got out. I was happy I got out. I had to go back to court. I went to court. They said, since you were under the age of 21, you have a speeding ticket, a failure to appear in South Carolina. I'm like, I ain't never been to South Carolina. What the hell y'all talking about? Well, if you know somebody that's used your stuff, you need to let us know. And I got to thinking, and I said, God damn it, I know who did it. That's what I'm saying to myself. And I couldn't tell on them. They were going to get 5 years, I would have told on them. Oh, man, it's okay. Whatever fines I got to pay, I'm just going to pay. And I never forget it, y'all. The judge was like, do you know who it was? I don't know. Well, it was you. Okay. How much do I need to pay for this? Well, they gave me a fine of like $1,800. Keep in mind, y'all, I'm like 21 at this time. I was 21 years old. I never forget this. And just at $1,500 or something like that. And yeah, I told the person, they got me out of jail when I got locked up, and they paid the fine. But it was $1,500 at the time when the judge said. I didn't know the person was gonna pay for it. I kind of figured they would. But $1,500 was scary for me. It was scary. I ain't got no freaking $1,500. I was broken and broke. I was wilding, y'all. And back in my day, I'm gonna age myself a little bit. Like today, when you driving, you gotta have that card, that ID. Back in my day, long as you knew the driver license number, which was your social security number back in my day, that's all you needed. And as far as an insurance, you just had to show them a card. You ain't have to have no real insurance. Now, they can run it and see if you had it, but if you were going through roadblocks, you just show that insurance card and you were good. I'm just saying, it was wild. So the judge told me I had to pay $1,500 and I was going to have to serve 10 days. I said, 10 days? 10 days of what? He said, you're going to have to do 10 days in jail. I said, 10 days in jail? Why am I doing 10 days in jail? This ain't the first time that we didn't got pulled over and you didn't fail to, like, what are you, okay, but I don't know who it was, but it wasn't me. I ain't never been outside the state of Georgia. You can't tell her who it was you. So you got to do these 10 days. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to do 10 days, but I work, y'all. I had a job. I did. I was working at what was it called? Randstaff, a temp agency. I had a job. These jokers told me, they said, so when you want to do your 10 days? I was like, man, I think I went to court on that Friday. And I just wanted to get it out the way. I'm one of those people, if I get scared, I'm just gonna do it as fast as possible. I've always been that way. So on that Friday, and the jail was like, when you want to do it? I was like, I'll start on Monday. All right, turn yourself in on Monday. We're gonna have you on the work release program. Here's gonna be your stipulation. So you're going to turn yourself in on Monday after you get off work. So you got to turn yourself in by 6 p.m. No, he said turn yourself in Sunday at midnight. So at midnight, I went up there, turned myself in. That Monday morning, got up at 4 a.m., went to work. I only could go to work. If I went anywhere off the work premises at all, off the job site at all, I would be considered fleeing and they would automatically give me 5 years. I was like, that's crazy. So I can't go get nothing to eat or nothing like that. Like, you got to stay inside that building. It's like, all right, bet. So at 8:30, they would let me out. I would go to work, be there by 9:30. I would get off work at 5. We only had 30-minute lunches. And then when I got off 5, I would have to be back up there at the jail by 6 o'clock. I never forget that, y'all. The very first day I went in there, there was a dude in there, right? Always a dude, right? Dude in there, he was like, hey, bro, this your first time up in here? I was like, huh? He's like, this your first time up in here? And I'm like, man, I don't know what you're asking me, bro. First time up in where? He was like, locked up. I said, yeah, in Gwinnett County. I didn't know what to do, y'all. I was scared, but I wasn't gonna let them know I was scared. That's my first time in Gwinnett County. Never forget it. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. He said, well, you already know, bro. Don't tell nobody what you in here for and how much time you got up in here, because people be trying to start fights when they realize you ain't got a lot of time and you just want to be on the up and up. I was like, all right, bet. Like, what y'all be doing up in here, man? He was like, we go to the little vending machine, we get snacks and stuff, and we sell snacks or whatever. So when the snacks vending machine get over there, you want to make sure you raid the vending machine so that you can have snacks to sell so you can continue making money. I was like, well, they got me on like this work release thing. So I get out and I go work and blah, blah, blah. So I ain't really tripping off of that, man. It is what it is. I don't eat that junk no way. And I ain't eating no food up in here, man. He's like, man, you're going to venture a break on this food thing, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. So during the days I was at work, at night, I have maybe like an hour or two of free time or whatever. And I'd be over there maybe watching TV with them or playing chess or something, because I was good at chess. Still is pretty good at chess. So I would play chess. And day 2 went by. Same process. Day 3 went by. I still ain't eating the food, y'all. I was having people bring me food at work, and I would eat while I was at work, and I wouldn't be doing that when I ain't eating none of this crap up in here. That Wednesday went by. I was on day 3. And I'm going to show y'all how oblivious I was. Day 3, I never forget this. Day 3 hit, I get off work, and as I'm about to get off work, managers and different people like, all right, y'all have a good Thanksgiving. Like, what? Y'all have a good Thanksgiving. We'll see y'all back on Friday. Huh? Y'all, I was in there for Thanksgiving. My stomach hurt thinking about it. It's so hilarious. I was in there for Thanksgiving. So I had to be there the whole freaking day because it wasn't no work. They didn't release me to go to work that day. I was in there for Thanksgiving. We watching the football game. I forgot it was a freaking holiday. So upset. I couldn't get no food. I went that whole day and I ate. That night when I went to sleep, right? They had all these bunk beds in there, right? All these bunk beds up in there, right? And I was on the top bump. I didn't know what the difference is between on the top bump, bottom bump, none of that. Boy, my stomach was growling so loud. The dude that was on the bottom, I'm like, man, what the fuck? Eat some, nigga. Oh, excuse me. My apologies, y'all. This is Safe Play. Beep. It's the same place, y'all. Everybody welcome y'all. I'm just showing love, y'all. I'm in the bed, stomach growling like a mug. It wasn't nothing in the vending machine. They had them raided the vending machines. They had raided it, y'all. It's a safe place. Everybody welcome y'all. I'm just showing love, y'all. They had them raided the vending machines. There wasn't nothing enough for me to eat. And they were selling the stuff, and I was finna pay $25 for a freaking bag of Cheetos, a quarter bag of Cheetos. They sell it for $25. Man, I ain't buying no Cheetos. I was in there so hungry. That next morning, when I got to the job that Friday, boy, I had everybody, their mama, they was up there. They had a little Thanksgiving plate, leftovers and stuff. My little homeboy, who he knew I was locked up, and during the work release, he brought me a Thanksgiving plate. Boy, I ate that stuff first thing in the morning. Boy, I ain't never scarfed food down that fast. That food was so nasty. He brought me. It didn't even make no sense. It didn't even matter. Boy, I was eating that food so fast. It didn't make no sense. The next week I got out. I did 10 days. Every day I was in there. Somebody say, hey man, what you in here for? Like, man, I don't want to talk about it, man. This stuff's too fresh for me. Man, I don't want to talk about it. That next week came, the weekend, I was in there the whole weekend. The weekend I went eat nothing. Man, I don't want to talk about it, man. That Monday came around. Man, I don't want to talk about it, man. That Tuesday came around. They asked me again. That Tuesday I'm out. And like, hey, man, what you in here for, bro? Like, you been saying you want to talk about it for the time frame, man. We got to know what you in here for, man. Like, you know, it wasn't like paperwork for real, but they're like, man, your paperwork stuff ain't came through yet. But when your paperwork come through, it's going to come out anyway. You might as well tell us. I'm like, bro, I don't want to talk about it, man. It's too fresh. I shouldn't be here, man. I ain't did nothing. This is crazy. That Wednesday morning, I never forget it. At 4:50 a.m., they woke us all up. They did count. After the count was over, I put on my clothes like I was getting ready to go to work. Around like about 5:50, 6 o'clock a.m., that's when they would call people that was being released. They said, Xavier Gibson, come to the, it was something desk. Come to the something desk. I took my little book bag, put my little clothes in my book bag. They were like, man, what's going on? Where you going? I'm like, I'm getting out, man. Man, you had that but 10 pumpkin days. They were so mad at me for having 10 days. It was cats in there for 2 years, 3 years left. Some of these cats was just there till they got transferred off to do their 20-year bid or their 15-year bid or whatever it was. It was so crazy. It didn't make no sense. They were so mad at me. It didn't make sense. I walked up out of there so fast, boy. The point that I'm making, y'all, is the stuff that I'm talking about doing is not from a place of not experiencing these things. I didn't experience some of these things that a lot of these things I've talked about. I've experienced them, maybe not to certain degrees, right, as some other people, but the reality of it is there is no excuse. There's zero excuses. Everybody got a story. It's not about where you start. It's about you starting. If you can wrap that around your brain, you will understand that you're in the perfect position. And that's what's wild about it, y'all. I don't know why I kind of veered off to that story, y'all. Y'all just made me think about it. That was the funniest day of my life, y'all. I never laughed so much. And while I was in there, I met some real cool people, y'all. Smart, creative, talented folks, man. They just made the wrong decision, but they made a decision. See, the reason why it's so difficult for people to get out of a rat race, they won't make a decision. They won't make a decision, y'all. You got to make a decision to make this stuff happen. I'm a landowner, family. I am part owner of America. And I'm not trying to laugh when I say that, even though it's funny, I'm being serious. I do a lot of stuff. I own a toilet paper company called Triumph Tissue, 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets. It's the closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk. But I ain't out here selling to y'all. I sell it to the government. We planted, and I say we, I'm just talking about me and my wife. We planted 100 acres of pecan trees back in 2023. We don't sell pecan pie. I got land with this on it. I got land with cell phone towers on it, so you can stay connected. When I left Bank of America, I started a project to build out 52 homes, a 52 home subdivision. Don't you know I had the money, I had the capital, went to the bank, tried to get the money, and the bank would not give me funding because they told me I ain't had no experience. So I did it myself. We built 29 homes out my own pocket, cash. No bank loans. And I went live doing it. In fact, for my people that's on the network, on this Tuesday, I'll be live again on the network at Zabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio. I'll be live back at property number 29. They supposed to be getting that septic tank in on Tuesday, y'all. Long as the weather permits. This stuff is getting crazy, y'all. Oh, and I started my own network, like Netflix, but I can go live over there. And there's so much more. I just can't talk about it on social media. It's almost scary when you start to really think about all these different things. Because the reality of it is, you're not out of reach. You're right there. Nothing stops anybody on these lives from doing anything that I'm talking about. Watch this. Majority of the people that are on my live right now, they believe money is real. It don't matter how old you are. You woke up, right? If you got breath in your body, you can do this stuff. Nothing stops you. Your age ain't got nothing to do with it. I've been on this planet 48 years. It just depends on when you start to try to make a difference in your life. It might be harder for you because you might be more stuck in your ways, but that's a you situation. Really ain't got nothing to do with the process. Say money is debt. What does that actually mean when you say money is debt? I'm curious. I'm a little curious, and I'm gonna ask y'all a question because I really want to know where people's head is at. So when you say money is debt, because I hear a lot of people say that, what does that actually mean? Money is debt. What does that mean? Anybody can help them. They ain't got to be trying to figure that one out by herself. And this is where I don't want people to get stuck. Don't let your education stop your education. The stuff that you have been taught, is nonsense. With term policies, they really don't check nothing because it's just a term. It doesn't have a living benefit. It only have a death benefit within the term. But you can't let your education stop your education, people. And I'm going to show you right now. If you believe you use money personally for anything, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe you need money personally for anything, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't believe you need money personally for anything, put a 2 in the chat. I know we have both scales in the lives today. So if you believe you need money personally, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe you don't need money personally, put a 2 in the chat. And I want y'all to just see, because this is the thought process that I need people to start to understand. And a lot of people, what you're going to see is you might see an overwhelming amount of 2s in the chat of people saying they don't need money personally. And I can tell you flat out, a lot of it is because maybe they had that experience where they understand something different, or maybe they've been on my live before and maybe they understand, it's starting connecting what I be sharing on these platforms. But all of these things out the gate, we always taught that we needed money personally from the day we were born. We don't know anything different. And I'm going to be honest with you, right? When I was at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, making a couple $100,000 a year, I thought I knew everything about money. It wasn't until I left the bank until I started learning about money. And it became like a scary thought to think about this stuff, y'all. So for the people that put a 1 in the chat that they need money personally, what if I told you you don't need money personally for anything? Would you believe it? Most people wouldn't. Because if you already believe you need money personally and stuff, just because somebody told you you don't need money personally, you'll be like, prove it. Like, show me. Like, give me your money if you don't need it personally. And I would tell you, I would give you my money if I had some money. I ain't got no money. Because I don't need money personally for anything. You don't either. And you already should know this because you've been told these things. You just refuse to pay attention to it. And I'll prove it. So let's walk through it. For those people that put a 1 in the chat that say they need money personally, right? If they need money personally for anything, right? Put in the chat what you use money personally for. Whatever you use money personally for, put a 1 in the chat. You say money is a promissory, a promise that a party will exchange something of value. Okay, I like that. That's fair, right? Something in the future, maybe, I guess. But money's not real. And you don't need money personally for anything, ever. But if you think you need money personally for something, put in the chat what you need money personally for. Gas, okay, you got to get around, sure. I can see that. Gas is 1. Food, okay, food. Food always comes up. Daily living, rent, car, house. Okay, I get it. You know, I think that's common stuff that people say they need money for personally, right? Vacations, okay, that's fair. What else? You say mattress? Okay, that's fair. Investing? Okay. I'm with you. I can understand why people think these things. Anything else? Clothes. Okay. I can see why people would say clothes. That makes sense to me too. What else? Anything else y'all can think of? Paying bills. That's what most people that's a fact right there. Haircuts. Okay, that's fair. What else? Shoes. Okay. It's interesting. Very interesting. Now, I want y'all to remember all of these things that you said you need money personally for, okay? I want y'all to remember this. You said you need a woman? Okay. Maybe you're trolling, maybe you're not, but okay. We'll count that too. We'll add that as the last thing to the list. And we'll go through all of it, okay? I want y'all to remember all these things y'all said y'all need money personally for, okay? Hopefully that's fair. So let's get into it. On each of these live platforms, I just need one person to pull out some cash. Don't worry, I'm not going to send around no collection plate. I need one person to put a 1 in the chat once they get some cash in their hand. I don't care if it's a $1 bill, a $2 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, a $20 bill, a $50 bill, a $100 bill. I don't care if it's a $250 bill. It don't matter to me. If you got money from the United States of America, some cash that you can put out, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. I appreciate you, Black Excellent over there. Shout out to you. You're the first person over there to keep me honest now, okay? On these other platforms, if you pull out some cash and y'all got to believe the people on TikTok. We're gonna hold church in a second on this Sunday afternoon. If not, y'all got to believe the people over on TikTok that put a 1 in the chat. We got a few people over there that put 1s in the chat over there on TikTok now. So we're gonna roll with what they say, y'all. They're gonna keep me honest, okay? I want them to keep me honest. Here's what I want y'all to do. Look at the back of your money. On the back of your money at the very top, there should be something that says the United States of America. If you see the United States of America on the back of your money at the top, put a 2 in the chat. If you see the United States of America on the back of your money at the top, put a 2 in the chat. Again, I just want somebody to keep me honest. Okay, so you see that over there. All right, they see that over there on TikTok. Okay, cool. All right, cool. The United States of America is not a country. Shocker. I'm going to say that one more time. The United States of America is not a country. It's a business. And it's a public business. And before somebody says a corporation is a business. Don't make this complicated, because it's not. Is the corporation a business? Or a corporation not a business no more? It's a business, right? Okay. So it's a business. It's a public business, not a country. How do I know it's a business and not a country? Countries have kings and queens. Businesses have presidents and vice presidents, like your job. I mean, I could be making it up too, right? But your job got a president and vice president, right? All businesses do, for the most part. But what do I know? Right below the United States of America, right? Right below the United States of America, you should see something that says, "In God we trust." In God we trust. If you see "In God we trust" below the United States of America, put a 3 in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat if you see the "In God we trust." Okay, y'all see that. So y'all know I'm not tripping still. Now, this part, I don't know if it's true. I heard it. It makes sense to me, but I don't know if it's true. I heard that "In God we trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust. If that's true, we all know a trust is private, right? I don't think I really need to convince you of that. If it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. This is on your money. You've been told this your whole life, but you're refusing to pay attention to it. Now I know what you're saying. Zabo, that sounds great. You ain't proved nothing though, bro. You just made up something about a business being public and it being private and your money is on your money. It ain't personal. Well, let me explain it this way. It ain't personal. It's just business. So I need you to put on your reading glasses for me. Turn your money around to the front. Find the fine print. You should see something that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." I'm going to read that one more time without looking at it. This note is legal tender for all debt, public and private. If you see that on your money on the front, put a 4 in the chat. Can't make that one up. It didn't say nothing about personal at all. But why is it on your money? It's instructions. It's instructions, boys and girls. Think. And this is why people miss it, because people be say money is for debts and debtors to use? Okay. A lot of people let their education stop their education. And a lot of times people will not get out of their own way so that these things can become crystal clear. Think about everybody on the line that was rattling off all these different things they use money personally for. Think about what we just went through and me showing you on your money what it's telling you your money is supposed to be used for. Think about that for a second. But in your head, even though you just saw on your money that you only supposed to be using it for public use and private use, you cannot stop thinking about you need money personally. I still got to eat. I still need a car. I still need a roof over my head. Your brain won't even stop for a second to think about what you just read. And I didn't make that up. It's just a fact. So being that I know your brain won't stop and think for a second, like, wait, I'm supposed to use my money for public and private use? Instead, your brain is going to say, I need money for food personally. I need money for my house. I need money for my car. Since your brain going to automatically revert back to what's not really real, I'm going to help you see it and connect the dots. Watch this. Anytime I ask people what they need money personally for, the very first thing that always come up is food. Food, 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 food. You would think with so many people being so disgruntled when it comes about their job and their peers at their job feel the same way. They sick and tired of being sick and tired. They all burnt out. You go to work every single day and the morale sucks. You would think some of this stuff would click, but it don't. So I'm gonna help it. When you go to work tomorrow in that place where the morale is bad, if corporate come down and they do a audit and they like, hey man, this morale down, we need to get this morale up, they're not giving y'all no raise. They're not giving you no promotion. Guess what the first thing they're gonna do? Buy y'all pizza, put some wings on it, get y'all a couple of Pepsis, and then they're gonna expense it because food is public, boys and girls. I got 99 employees. 8 of those 99 employees is me, my wife, and all 6 of our kids. The one thing that none of my employees ever have to worry about is buying food. The business buy food for them every single day, and then the business expense it. Because food is public. Uh-oh. This is crazy. Nobody hears this stuff. It's almost insane to think about. What's the next thing come up? Man, I need a car and I need gas. My wife needed a vehicle for one of her business back in February of 2024. That business of hers went out and bought a 2024 long body Range Rover, paid $153,000 cash for it. Ain't no car payment. And being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS allowed her to write the whole thing off. You already know, tax code 179. One of my businesses needed a vehicle at the end of last year, December to be exact. So my business went out and purchased a 2025 Cadillac Escalade, $152,000 cash. And being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS allowed us to write the whole thing off. Ain't no car note. Ain't no car note. Well, Elward, you asked a good question. You said, so how do you buy food for your employees? Easy. The same way your job buy you pizza. On your job. It's food. Okay, let's take it a step further. You can go to the IRS. If you got a small business right now and you're conducting business and you got an employee, you are an employee, you got an employee, you can buy your employee food every single day. You're not buying it, the business buying it. The business ain't a person. The business is an entity outside of you. When you have your little business dinners, you don't expense that stuff. When you take your business trips on your job, your business, your job, don't your job give you a, I don't know, a business credit card? What do your job pay for when you go on that business trip? The flight, the car rental, the hotel, and all the food that you eat while you out there. You think your job can do this and it's legal, and when you do it, it ain't? Think, not write-offs, business expense, dollar for dollar match. They're two different things. Watch this. Back to that business vehicle. So if I go put gas in that business vehicle, that's a business expense. If I do maintenance on that business vehicle, that's a business expense. Your vehicle is public, boys and girls. You're driving on a public road. Tell me the last time you drove on a personal road outside of your driveway. Go. Tell me what personal road y'all driving on that's yours personally that you done drove on outside of your driveway. I'm listening. Words matter. Your driver license, the only way you're driving if you're conducting business. That's the only reason you need a driver's license. If you're not conducting business, you're not driving, you're traveling. But nobody don't hear that. These things are basic things that you overlook because your mind is set to be an employee. And I can't even make that up if I wanted to. But I'll keep going. I'm in a 7,000 square foot home right now. This ain't my house. It's one of the trust house. The roof over your head is private, so it goes in a trust. The roof over somebody else's head that you control is public, so it goes in a business. You get it? So when them bills come in the house, those the trust bills. I ain't got no bills. No, what I'm saying is if it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. I think this is where the confusion coming from you, Mr. Davis. When people hear things like a trust or a business, they immediately think about a whole bunch of money. That's the truth. You hear somebody say they got a trust, man, they must got a whole bunch of money. If you got money inside of a trust, it's just a checking account with the trust name in it. I don't know how to make that more simpler. In order for you to be in business, you have to have a business account. Checking account, that is, minimally. So when you're making your decisions in life, you're operating in public and in private. If it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. And personal ain't public, and personal ain't private. But these are things that you're overlooking. Let me bring it back to some reality. I know there are people on my live right now that was so mad at the United States of America for sending billions of dollars to other countries to help them in need, right? Why y'all sending these billions and billions of dollars to the other country? Meanwhile, prayer's still going out to the people in California that lost their homes in the fire. Prayer's still going out to the people in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, all these places that lost their homes in those hurricanes. Think. Them people in California, they had to go through what was called an emergency fund. They started them folks out with $770. You got people in South Carolina, North Carolina that didn't qualify for anything. Why they just gonna send those billions of dollars to those people? Because your money only supposed to be used for public use and private use. When they sent that money to other country, it was public business. When the stuff happened here in America, the United States of America, it was personal. So they made them go through the business to see what emergency fund they qualify for. So if you have your refrigerator in your home personally empty and you go to your job and say, I need $1,000 to put grocery in my house, they're not giving you no money personally, ever. You better call HR, call payroll. Let's see if you qualify for the emergency fund, and whatever they give you, that's what you're going to get. They had to make it public. Because the only people, businesses that, well, not even businesses, but the only people on this, in this place called the United States of America that use money personally are the employees. You get it? Y'all on here right now because y'all getting this information from me, and y'all, hopefully some of this light bulb stuff is starting to click. But y'all getting this information from me. And this is a use situation. Y'all using me to get the information. I use y'all to show y'all my pretty clothes and pretty shoes. Why? Because Zabo 103 also one of my businesses. And even though I ain't getting paid on none of these platforms, business expense, business expense, business expense, I can keep going. Your small business that you have right now today, don't you write off the square footage of your office? If you don't, you should. You don't think I'm writing off the square footage of my office? I'm in here conducting business. When I'm in my movie theater conducting business, you don't think I'm writing off the square footage of that either? When I'm in my gym, you don't think I'm writing off the square footage of that? I'm conducting business. And I'm not just doing these things arbitrarily. I have a tax attorney. Flat out. Think. But I'll go further. You need money for your little crumb snatching kids. That's personal money, right? I don't understand why your kid ain't your employee. I don't know why your kid ain't your employee. I don't get it. My kid have to be 16-year-old in my state in order for them to be my employee. Not if you got farmland. If you got farmland, your kid can start working for you out the womb. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Moving to Puerto Rico is not going to solve your problem. Because when you get to Puerto Rico, you still going to have to work. I ain't going to have no taxes. I think you missed the point. Taxes is not your issue. The only people and businesses that pay taxes are people and businesses that earn an income. And taxes is not an issue. Imagine you don't want to pay taxes. If you don't pay taxes, you didn't earn an income. If you do have to pay taxes, that means you made money, you earned the income. Imagine that for a second. And the reason why you worried about capital gains is because you're thinking like an employee. The wealthy people on this planet don't ever worry about no capital gains, ever. They don't have to. Because they know money not real, and they know they don't need money personally for anything. That's what I'm trying to teach you right here on this live. But it won't click because people have all these things in their head. Again, they don't. You got to stop letting your education stop your education. You don't know. Because if you did, I promise you, you already would be doing these things. And this stuff wouldn't be so complicated for you to figure out. It's almost scary when I think about this stuff, y'all. I went from making a couple $100,000 a year at the bank. I left the bank when I made my yearly salary in a month. These days, I can do it every other day. You think I'm worried about capital gains? I'm laughing at it. It's comical. It's not a real thing, y'all. It's only a real thing for employees. And that's just the truth. So what if your business is not earning the money? If your business is not earning no money, then you can't, how you gonna operate a business if your business not earning money? You're not turning anything to a trust. You're commingling two different things. So let me try to help paint the picture for you. For all the people that's in the chat, what type of work do y'all do? Do y'all work for somebody else? And if you work for somebody else, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't work for nobody else and you only work for yourself, put a 2 in the chat. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you in real time what you're saying. You're seeing it because your job has been showing it to you. If there was an issue when it came to capital gains, your employer would not be working. Your employer would never hire you at all. They would never hire you. If they were worried about capital gains, they making all this money, they would never hire you. Ever. Just so we all on the same page. I just want to make that clear. Okay? Money is not yours. You're only holding money to give it to somebody else. And money is always going to go back to the original sender. And none of us are the original sender. Here's the scarier part. Your job ain't got no money. Your job ain't never had no money. How many times have you seen people at your job get fired and somebody in leadership repeat something they done heard somebody else in upper leadership, and they repeat what somebody in upper leadership has said? They say to them, we didn't fire them, they fired themselves. They fired themselves. Because your job ain't got no money. I'll explain. Watch this. Watch this. You go to work every single day. Let's say you make $100,000 a year. You proud of that? Amazing. If you make $100,000 a year, that's $11.41 an hour, and that's before taxes. I'm gonna say that one more time. If you make $100,000 a year, that's $11.41 an hour, and that's before taxes. The math is the math. When you go on your job, you have a standard goal that you got to meet, or you're going to get performance managed out. If you miss that standard, they're going to performance manage you out. It ain't even a question. So if you make $100,000 a year, you minimally every single day you go to work got to make your job $10,000. So for the full month, you got to make $200,000 a month for your job to keep your job. If you go below that $200,000 by a penny in 1 month, you get a verbal. The second month you miss that $200,000 goal, you're going on a written. That third month you miss that number, you're going on a final. That fourth month you miss, You're fired because your job ain't got no money to pay you. I can't make that up. But here's the scarier part. When you go to work, you get money from a customer. And when you get that money from a customer, you don't put that money in your pocket. You don't put that money in your bank account. You give it to your job. So every day you go to work, if you make $100,000, you making $10,000, you handed it to your job every single day. And on that 10th day of you working, your job give you a fraction of that money back in the form of a direct deposit. Within 10 days, you done gave your job $100,000 and your job give you $3,100 after tax in the form of a direct deposit. And you happy because you got money in the bank. Because you think the bank is a holding facility. And the bank is not a holding facility, people. It's a lending institution. But you don't understand that. That ain't the crazy part about it. You giving your job $100,000 every pay period. There are 26 pay periods in a year. If you haven't done the math, boys and girls, for your $100,000 salary, you giving your job minimally $2.6 million a year. I can't make that up. And I'm lowballing with this number, y'all. I am absolutely lowballing with this number. But that ain't the crazy part. On that 10th day, when you get paid, we get paid. When that money hits your bank that you think is a holding facility, that I know it's a lending institution, I go to the bank and ask for your money and the bank lend it to me. And there are people out there just like me that understand the power of zero. Think. They understand this stuff, y'all. So they asking for your money too, and the bank is lending it to them. That ain't even the crazy part. Guess what we do with your money? We buy soap, we buy toilet paper, we buy bottled water, napkins, forks, spoons, pigs, chickens, cows, goats in bulk, and then turn right back around and sell it right back to you for 5 times what it's worth using your money. And you don't even understand that this stuff is going on every single day. So when somebody said, you're going to hit with capital gains, I'm not getting hit with capital gains. Y'all getting hit with capital gains. It ain't my money no way. I understand that. I'm only holding the money to give to the next person. You get it? You the person that think you got all this money and you don't know that you in between blessings. You the one that use money personally. This is why people always in their feeling when you're talking about money. It ain't personal. It's just business. Or should I say, it ain't personal. It's just public. It ain't personal. It's just private. There's a difference. But people don't get that. And they seen all the signs. You didn't walk inside of a bank before. You see the sign that says FDIC. You know that that means it's insurance on your money up to $250,000 per account. But if you got $250,000 in that account, you can't go to the bank and ask them for that cash. They're not giving it to you. They're going to tell you got to order that money. It's going to be 14 days for you to get that money. You got to order it. What do you mean it's going to be 14 days? It didn't take me 14 days to put it in there. Why is it taking me 14 days to get it out? We don't have that type of money here. What do you mean? I gave it to y'all here at this bank. Why y'all ain't got it? Because they lent it out. They're a lending institution. But you ain't figured it out yet. But these ain't the questions you should be asking when this stuff is happening. The question you should be asking is, why would I put my money in the bank if the bank ain't putting their money in the bank? Those are simple questions. Another question you should ask, why the bank need insurance on my money? Why wouldn't I just go get the insurance? But you don't even know to ask these things because you stuck on, I'm using money personally, even though on the front of your money in fine print, it tells you the instruction. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It's on your money. It's absolutely on your money. This is the reason why I created my platform, Zabo103tv.com, so I can pull the curtains behind it so you can see it in real time. Because I don't just talk about this stuff, I do this stuff in real life. And I'm just a law-abiding citizen. See, I broke the cycle when I stopped listening to the bank tell me to do all these different things. I stopped listening to the wealthy people telling me what to do. I stopped listening to the gurus telling me what to do. I stopped listening to them because I started using common sense. And I said to myself, if I'm a business owner and I got something that my customers enjoy and they love and they like, I would never tell my customers exactly what I do so they wouldn't have to use me ever again in life. No business would do that. I wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. No business would do that. So what make you think the bank will give you the best financial advice and you're their customer? The math don't math. So I started doing what they do. There's a difference. When I realized that the banks put their money in insurance policies and land, it was game over. My first train of thought was this like be your own bank stuff. And I was like, I gotta be on this like be your own bank. I was so wrong. It was way bigger than that. Way bigger than that. That was crumbs compared to what they were actually doing. The bank buy land every single day. And the bank got so many insurance policies, it don't make no freaking sense. It's almost scary to think about it. Imagine every dime that you get, because you're taking it personal, you run it through that lending institution that you think are holding facility, and you don't get no return on your investment. I got a high interest yield savings account or checking account. I get 4%. That's an annual rate. You're getting 4% a year. Let's say they give you 4% a year. How much money you got in the bank? You ain't nowhere near close at $250,000, are you? Not even close. You barely got $1,000 in there. So you're going to take your 4% on your $1,000 you done had in your savings account the whole year. Congratulations. Go ahead and take that $40. It's a blessing. It's better than nothing, I guess. But nobody hears this stuff. Meanwhile, I can take my money and run it through my whole life insurance policy. It's going to get compound interest daily, tax-free, that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. And when I borrow that money from my policy, the money's still in my actual policy getting compound interest daily. Think. But people don't hear that. People believe that there's something else that's being done. That's too good to be true. But this is what the wealthy people in the bank's been doing forever, and they ain't never stopped. You don't hear people on social media talking about this stuff. And when they get too deep into it, like myself, they get suspended. The other place they put their money is in land. Imagine that. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. So you got $200. Where do you put it? It's interesting. I don't know what you can do with $200, but what if you got to switch the way you think. You don't have $200. The money's not yours. It's not your money. You're not the original sender. You're just holding it to give to somebody else. That's the only reason why you got, if you got $200 and that's what you got right now, who you holding it for? You got to make a decision on who you're going to give it to. I'm saving it for a rainy day. It rains every day. I need you to think. If the bank don't hold money, they lend it out. Let's start there. The bank don't hold no money ever. They not just lending your money out. They lend the money out they ain't even got yet. That's a wild concept, y'all. I know I got a rep. So what I'm gonna do is we just gonna dive into a scenario. Because I know that people don't understand this stuff, and this stuff not gonna click until they fully can relate to it. Yeah, I guess that's true too, right? I guess. But so let's come up with a scenario. Y'all can tell me how much money I need to make in a year. Tell me if I'm married, single, kids, no kids, good credit, bad credit. Y'all can come up with whatever scenario y'all want. And I'll show you how you can never work for nobody else for the rest of your life. Come up with a scenario, and I'll show y'all right here on this live. Single dad, I like that right there. Single dad, cool. We'll start being, I'm a single dad. What else? 2 kids. All right, I got 2 kids, single dad. I can't be a single mom, I'm a man. Only thing you got to do is whatever I'm telling you, you can just put it in reverse, okay? I got 2 kids, single dad. Just lost my job. All right, bet. Okay. How long I been out of work? Let me know. So single dad, just lost my job. Do the kids live with me or do they live with their mom? Y'all tell me. 60 years old. Okay. But I'm still be a single dad at 60. That might be a stretch. 60 years old, single dad. That might be a stretch. And the kids live with me at 60? Oh, I've been out 60 days. Okay, cool. I'm like 60 years old. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be no dad at that point. 37, cool. You got $1,000 in my pocket. Okay. Ain't got no job. 37, cool. Yeah, so I'm actually getting child support for 2,200 a month. Okay. So I'm getting 2,200 a month. I got bills. I mean, that's a given, right? So I'm in debt. That's what y'all telling me, right? So it sounds like I got bad credit. So that means my credit score, I'm gonna go with my famous credit score. I got a 350 credit score. Y'all ain't got to tell me that about no bills. If they want to put some on my credit, they're gonna have to staple it. So I got a 350 credit score. I'm getting $2,200 a month in child support. That's what I'm getting. Got my 2 kids with me. Got $1,000 to my name. You can say I got a 300 credit score, right? I'm just hoping that we are all on the same page. So I'm getting $2,200 a month in child support. I got $1,000 in my pocket. I just lost my job. I got a 300 credit score. I'm a single dad of 2 kids. What else? Anything else y'all want to throw out there before we rock and roll? We're gonna make sure y'all on the same page. Somebody said I was on Section 8. So I guess I'm on Section 8. So I'm gonna go with I did it. I'm on Section 8. Single dad on Section 8. I'm getting $2,200 a month in child support. I'm assuming I'm getting food stamps too. My credit score 300, single dad. Not sure what you said. You got a lawsuit awarded to you of 200,000. I don't want to add that to this equation, right? Like, what would be the reason if I'm a single dad of 2 kids getting $2,200 a month, $1,000 to my name, just lost my job, 300 credit score? What would be the reason that I'm getting a $200,000 lawsuit awarded to me? What is the $200,000 lawsuit coming from? I'm just curious. And I'm on Section 8. So I'm trying to figure out where the lawsuit came from. If you're telling me what you got going on, that's something different. I'm talking about a scenario that anybody can relate to and how you can do what you can do. So if you got $200,000 lawsuit coming to you and your situation is better than what I'm talking about, use the scenario that I'm about to give because you're in a better spot, right? Because if you're in a better spot than what I'm about to explain, you don't have an excuse. If you get 200 grand soon, you definitely ain't got no excuse. You're gonna be in a way much better place than what I'm about to explain what I would do. And the place that I'm in right now, I'm going to show you how myself, my kids will never have to work for nobody else for the rest of their life. Hopefully you caught that. All right. So let's get this party on the road because I don't want to hold y'all up too much on this Sunday. We've been on here for 2 hours. Single father of 2 boys. My youngest son is 6. My oldest son is 8. Those are the parameters. Okay? 2 boys, 300 credit score. Horrible credit. On Section 8, I'm getting $300 a month in food stamp. I'm just throwing a random number out. Got 2 boys. I'm on West Name, and I'm getting child support. I lost my little job that wasn't paying me that no way. I got $1,000 to my name. That's what they told me. Oh Lord, what would I ever do? The first thing that I would do, I'm already in a better place than a lot of people because I'm on Section 8. I'm getting child support. Even though I lost my little job, me and my boys still straight. We in the hood, but that's cool. I ain't tripping. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach out to the boy's mom, and I'm just gonna tell their mom that I want the mom to be an active person in the boy's life. I'm gonna talk to her about coming back, but I know she's not coming back. She don't want to come back. That's why she left. And she paying child support of $2,200. She gonna be upset. She ain't gonna even want to talk to me. But I'm gonna tell her that, hey, it may be beneficial for you to come back. You know, you gonna take me out child support if I come back? I'm like, no, because I don't know if you're gonna stay or not. But I want you to, because I'm about to change our life. She ain't gonna try to do that. She's gonna continue doing what she's doing because her lifestyle is cool. So I'm gonna be like, all right, I just want you to be in your boy's life because they gotta know what a good mom is. And I know you are a good mom to them. I'm not mad at you. And I want us to have the best co-parenting situation. Even though the boys with me, I still want us to have the best co-parenting situation. Best house on the worst block. You already know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to mend that relationship with their mom so we can make a better relationship. So the kids, what's up, Lux? So the kids can see in real time a great relationship, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Watch this. The next thing I'm gonna do is I gotta fix my credit, y'all. My credit sucks. So I'm gonna reach out to a company called LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a company that houses all all your information. I'm going to reach out to LexisNexis. Somebody put it in the chat because I know somebody, what do you say? LexisNexis, LexisNexis. Somebody put it in the chat. LexisNexis houses all your information. When I reach out to LexisNexis, I'm going to tell the first person I talk to, hey, freeze my clue report and my personal file. Clue, C-L-U-E, personal file. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I'm going to tell them I can't afford it. Just freeze my clue report and my personal file. They're going to tell me they're going to freeze my clue report and my personal file. They're going to send me out a PIN number in 3 days. I'll be able to unfreeze my clue report and personal file and freeze my clue report and my personal file at any time. I'm going to say thank you very much. And I'm going to wait those 3 days. While I'm waiting those 3 days, I'm going to talk to my boys. And I'm going to tell my boys that, hey, I know we've been struggling. I know times been a little rough and things been tight, but I need y'all to hold on. I do have a plan and I'm going to make it so y'all don't ever have to work for nobody, ever. And y'all ain't ever going to have to depend on no government assistance, none of that like your dad did. And I feel bad as a man talking to y'all about this, but I'm going to put y'all in a position to where y'all never have to worry about that. We're going to struggle for some time, but it's okay. Well, by the time y'all get old enough to start doing things on y'all own, y'all going to be well prepared and never have to enter into the workforce other than going in there as an employer, not an employee. So 3 days are up. I've been talking to my boys. I've been showing them stuff, and I'm going to continue showing them stuff on this whole entire journey. In 3 days, when I get that PIN number for LexisNexis, I'm going to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and I'm going to start disputing. That's not my address. Those are not my accounts. Validate this debt. Verify that balance. We all know on these platforms that if you dispute something with the credit bureaus, they got 30 days to verify your information. I think that's pretty much common. I think everybody know that. That ain't nothing earth-shattering, right? What a lot of people don't know is when they reach out to verify your information, they're going to reach out to LexisNexis. What even less people know, being that your clue report and your personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. We all know what happens when nothing comes back, right? Say it with me, boys and girls. It's coming off your credit and it's free. Uh-oh. Just fix that 300 credit score for free. This is going to get scary. Watch this. Watch this. The next place that I'm going to reach out to is a place called NACA. N-A-C-A. NACA. Somebody put it in the chat. NACA is a company that will assist you with getting a home. Even if they got to put you down to a 0% interest rate. This is going to get crazy. They have some requirements though, y'all. You got to be able to make the monthly payments. You got to sit through their 4-hour program. You got to be willing to move into the house. You can't have no lates in your credit in the last 12 months. And you got to come up with that down payment. Let's work this thing backwards. Down payment, I ain't got no money. I ain't even got no job. But I do qualify for the down payment assistance program. Check that box. This is going to get crazy. I can't have no lates on my credit in the last 12 months. I just fixed my credit by going through LexisNexis. Check that box. I got to sit through that 4-hour program. Not if you qualify, you don't. Got to sit through that 4-hour program. I don't mind sitting there. I ain't doing it no way. Check that box. This is going to get scary. They're going to look at how much money, right, that I'm paying for a mortgage in order to qualify. Well, my Section 8 voucher count as income. Section 8 is giving me with my 2 boys right now for a voucher, $1,300 a month. That means that NACA gonna get that $1,300 a month. Check that voucher, check that box. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. What do you think I'm gonna do at this point? Got a roof over my head. I'm getting food stamps. Got $1,000 in my pocket. I am getting $2,200 a month in child support. Right? Think about what I'm saying. When it's time, when I get this home through NACA and I got to move into it, the home that I got, the place that I'm living at, I'm moving out and moving into it. NACA is going to get their money from Section 8. What do you think I'm going to do at this point? I'm going to go on down there to the city and I'm going to apply for that government phone. You know, that Obama phone. I qualify. So I can get rid of that phone bill. Got to get off my plate. While I'm down there, I'm also going to talk to them folks about me becoming a licensed builder. This is going to get crazy. What do you think I'm going to do? They're going to tell me it's going to take $200 for me to become a licensed builder. And I got to work up on the licensed builder for 2 years in order to get them to vouch for me to become a builder. I'm going to go find me a licensed builder to work for and tell them I'll work for them as an intern for free. It's only going to be during the hours that my kids are at school. And I'm going to work for you as an intern for free. I just need you to vouch for me to becoming a licensed builder. All my basic necessities are being taken care of, just if y'all ain't figured it out. And I'm getting $2,200 a month in child support. Watch this. $2,200 a month, there's $24,000 plus another $200 times 12, there's another $1,200. That's $25,400 a year. Okay? That's all the money that I'm getting in child support. Watch this. What do you think I'm gonna do? With that whole $25,000, my money is going into 3 places, boys and girls. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. I ain't spending that 25 grand nowhere else. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go sit down with a licensed life insurance broker or agent. I'm gonna tell them to give me illustrations of all of their policies that got a cash value, and they can structure it in a way that 26.4. Thank you, family. They need to structure in a way where I can borrow from it every 30 days. Every dime that I have, I'm running it through that life insurance policy. I got to make this stuff happen because it got a living benefit and a death benefit. So remember, basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. I just put $26,400 a year in my life insurance policy, and I'm borrowing that money while it's still getting compound interest daily, tax-free. So I'm still borrowing it, $26,400. It's not income, so it's not going to hurt the Section 8. Why? Because it's not income. It's a loan. Uh-oh. So it ain't taxed. So when I get that $26,000 out, how much money do I need to go into basic living expenses? Well, Section 8 is paying for my mortgage. I got a couple of utility bills. It's about, call it $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. Okay, cool. Check that box. I'm getting food stamps. The food is covered every month. I ain't going nowhere but up there to work with this licensed builder where I'm realistically, I've been, bumming a little ride over there to the job site. I ain't got no car. Started off by just walking over there. He told me gonna be there for the next 2-3 years anyway, building. I said, I'm making that happen. I'll walk over here every morning. I drop my kids off at the school bus. I'll walk right on over there. And if you want me to go to another job site, you're gonna have to take me over there, but I'll do all the work for you for free. I'm interning. I just gotta be back by the time my boys get off the school bus. This is what it is, y'all. So my basic living expense, I'm taking $6,000 going to basic living expenses. I'm putting $26,400 in my life insurance policy. I have somewhere around about 20,000, take 5,000 off. I have about $15,000 left over. That 15 grand is going into land. I'm gonna buy me 3 acres of land every single year. And before you say you can't even buy 1 acre land for $15,000, I know. That's why I said I'm buying 3. I'm not buying land in a major city. I'm buying land 30 to 45 minutes outside of a major city. In every state in the United States of America, with the exception of Hawaii as of today, you can buy land for $5,000 or less for 1 acre. So I'm gonna go get me 3 acres. And that's my plan. By year 2, I then became a licensed builder. This is gonna get scary. I'm gonna do this plan for 10 years, y'all. Struggling with my boys. By year 10, I will own 30 acres of land. Notice I ain't saying that about using my credit to go get no land. Notice I ain't saying that about partnering with nobody to get no land. Having all this money saved to go get no land. I will have acquired 30 acres of land. And before somebody say the tax is gonna kick your butt, on an acre of land on average, with no home on it, your property taxes ain't more than $30 a year. This is gonna get wild. But I also been putting $26,400 in my life insurance policy that's been getting compound interest daily, tax-free, that I've been borrowing from and paying myself back with interest. In 10 years, I will easily have about $400,000 in that policy that I can borrow from. What do you think gonna happen in year 10? I'm gonna have 400 grand I can borrow from in this hand. I'm gonna take 2 acres of the 30 acres that I own, and I am a licensed builder. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build me a duplex on each of these acres. As a person that then built 29 homes out of his own pocket, cash, whatever the value of the home, it normally takes half of the amount to build a property. So if I take 400 grand out, there's 200 grand for each property. I got duplexes worth each 400 grand a piece. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. So I done took these 2 duplexes that I got. Y'all tell me real quick, because I got a rep. I got 2 bedrooms. If you go your way y'all live at, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, 30 minutes outside of the city. How much is the rent? Where you live at today, I know in Georgia, 30 minutes outside of the city, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, new construction, you paying $2 grand for it. I don't know what it is in y'all state. So y'all tell me. $1,800, $2,200, $1,500, $2,300. But you're not becoming a landlord today. You're not becoming a landlord for 10 years. So what you think that 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, new construction apartment, 30 minutes outside of the city, what you think the rent gonna be in 10 years? It's easily gonna be double. So in Georgia, if it's $2 grand now, it's easily gonna be $4,000 in 10 years. I'm not gonna charge $4,000. I'm only gonna charge $3 grand because I'm gonna be the cheap dude on the block. You get it? So I'm gonna rent my property out for $3 grand. 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. What do you think I'm gonna do at this point? Now I'm gonna go to the bank and put this property in debt. I'm going to get a mortgage. The bank gonna say, you got this $400,000 duplex right here. It's free and clear. You an investor. We need 20% down. 20% of $400,000 is $80,000. It's a good thing I got it in equity. That means the bank gonna give me a mortgage of $320,000. Who's getting that $320,000? You, tax-free, that your tenant about to pay back. Uh-oh. How much is the mortgage on $320,000? 2,500 bucks? Call it $3,000 to round up. I don't care. One of my tenants paying that. The other tenant, that $3,000, it ain't taxed out the gate. Why? You got to get what's called a return on your capital first. You know that 80 grand in equity that you put down, until you get that 80 grand back, that $3,000 ain't taxed. That means I did this twice, right? 2 acres, 2 duplexes. I got $320 for each of them. That means I got my 200 grand back for both of those and an extra $120,000 back for both of those. That means I got $640,000 in this hand, tax free. That also means that $3,000, I got $6,000 in this hand. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? Ain't no more Section 8. Ain't no more food stamps. Ain't no more government phones. I just changed my life and my kids' life. In 10 years, my oldest son is 18. My youngest son is 16. It's about to be game over. But nobody don't hear this. So let me put it in more perspective. What the hell you think I'm going to do after that? If I got this on 2 acres. I got 28 more acres left. What you think I'm going to do? I'm only going to do this 30 times. Wait, if I do this 30 times, I'm putting 200 in to get this duplex. I'm getting 320 back. Just an extra $120,000 on top of the 200 that I'm putting in. $120,000 times 30. If I carry that number, that's $3.6 million tax free. Tell me what job y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all got making this type of money. And I started from no job, had $1,000 to my name, on Section 8, single father of 2, getting $2,200 a month from my ex-wife in child support, had a 300 credit score. If your situation is better than that, what's your excuse? You don't lack money, people. You lack information and taking action with the information that you get. This is the stuff that I teach you over on Szabo103tv.com. But it's even deeper than this, because y'all just got that for free. $3.6 million tax free. You ain't seeing that type of money nowhere. I don't care what you're doing. And that ain't the crazy part. You remember that $3,000 that ain't taxed out the gate, where you got to get that return on capital first before it's taxed? You also getting that 30 times. 30 times $3,000 is an extra $90,000 a month on top of the $3.6 million. Tell me again what job y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all doing making this type of money. I'm listening. I'm all ears. $3.6 million tax free, 90 grand a month on top of that. I'm all ears, y'all. And I'm not telling y'all what I think. I just told y'all what I did. There's a difference. And there's more. How the heck is it more than the $3.6 million and the 90 grand a month, Szabo? Because there's more. You remember the 80 grand in equity that you had leaving the property? You also getting that 30 times. What does that mean? That's an extra $2.4 million in equity on top of the 90 grand a month, on top of the $3.6 million tax free. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm all ears. Think. Creating the life you truly deserve, boys and girls. You can go get a copy of this book at Szabo103tv.com for free. Go over there right now and get your free digital copy of Creating the Life You Truly Deserve. This is a book that me and my wife wrote back in 2019. It came out in 2020. And it's going to help you get your mind right. Let's say that. Creating the Life You Truly Deserve. Go over there and tap in with it. Go get the free digital copy of that book. And while you're over there, join the actual network. The network will change your life. I created the platform for people that were being sick and tired of working for other people and not being able to spend time with the people that they say they care about and love the most. For all the people that's on the network, tomorrow morning, I'll be live on the network, Zabo103TV.com at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going up tomorrow morning. I think we're going to start the challenge. I don't think I even said this in the network yet, even over here, but I'm saying it on social media. But we start the actual challenge with all the law-abiding citizens tomorrow. So even if you can't catch the live first thing in the morning, the live recording will be on Zabo103TV.com. It'll be on the network. You'll be able to watch the replay of it. And we're going to start the challenge next week for all the law-abiding citizens that are over there. I appreciate y'all tapping in with your boy. We're going to go up. It just is what it is. I'm going to get up off here because I've been on here for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed to Zabo103TV.com and you still trying to figure out how to get out of your rat race, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. I have no clue. No clue. But as always, do your research over me search. In the meantime, y'all be good or have fun being bad. And again, my law-abiding citizens, Zabo103TV.com will be live first thing in the morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the bio for those that are not there yet. Peace.